Hello everyone, how are you doing? This is Daryl Guberman, CEO of Guberman PMC LLC, a quality consulting firm here in Connecticut. My background being aerospace, medical implants, medical materials, printing, and plastic distribution, where we dealt in every industry under the sun. Today, this video is another follow-up video to about 50 people injured after a strong movement on Boeing flight to New Zealand, tragedy looms. This is part one. And this will probably be one of my last videos for Latham Airlines. I think I've given Mr. Roberto Alvo Misalvich, enough information. Roberto, thank you very much for coming here. We apologize for your aircraft, but more disasters are on the horizon. We have given our CV, our resume, to Boeing to assist them getting out of this quality quagmire. They have yet to respond. You have Mr. Stan Deal, Global Quality Services, said in an interview that we must maintain supplier continuity. Well, you're going to find out that there is no supplier continuity since 2002. For 22 years, they neglected their suppliers by utilizing an AS9100 certificate for aerospace, which is accredited only by ANSI ANAP. We're going to go into this. All the data will be able to be found down below this video in the description. So here we go. This is a brief overview compared to the more extensive one I originally gave you on the 50 people injured after a strong movement on Boeing flight to New Zealand. And then this one is part one. Ladies and gentlemen, sit down. Roberto, thank you for coming again. And here it is. ANSI, the American National Standards Institute, is an organization, a private, not-for-profit, non-governmental entity. It's been around for over 100 plus years. It has federal agencies and corporations on board. It also has ANAB on board, and the American National Accreditation Board. In 2018, ANSI took over complete control over ANAB in 2018, and they also sat on the IF, the International Accreditation Forum, which is a repository for national and international accreditation bodies. ANSI ANAB takes full legal responsibility. They are underwriters for those organizations that are either an IFMLA or MRA, multilateral agreement, multi-regional agreement organizations. Yes, they take full legal responsibility. IF is incorporated in Delaware. They're also underwriters for the International Laboratory Accreditation Cooperation, which is a sister organization to the IAF. At this time, in 2015, the IAF was handed over to a communist Chinese national, a Zhao Jinwu, who's been involved with our quality in the United States and the world since 1994. He is also at the time the chief executive of the China National Accreditation Services, which is, again, equivalent in accreditation to ANAB. So when you have that virus escape from Wuhan, China, and it did because Pamela Sale, the Vice President of Quality Certification and Accreditation for Laboratories, stated under deposition in Texas that from one laboratory to another, there are variances and lacking protocol. All of that will be found in the articles that are beneath this video. So he handed that off as the chief executive of the China National Accreditation Services in Beijing, China. Now we come up to Boeing. Here's Boeing. Boeing. They sit also on ANSI's board, ANSI ANAB's board, right over by the accreditation body that they shove down people's throats. You're going to find out as well, Roberto, that they sit on the boards of ANSI ANAB. They push ANSI ANAB through their supplier portal and it's coming up right now on their supplier bulletin of 2002. Well, let me get to it. I'll show it to you. You think there's any confidence in the integrity of quality? Like a lot of the hierarchy in those organizations say, oh, with our cert, there's a certification is wonderful. It's a hierarchy. Well, on the ISO website, it states accredited or unaccredited. It makes no difference. It's what the market deems fit. But what they found out, they can, because they're involved, ANSI ANAP have all those federal agencies and corporations on board, they feel like they're made out of Teflon. So here we go. This is the actual procurement or a supplier bulletin in 2002. I'm not going to go into elaborate over it. I read you what was in detail in this organizational bulletin, but I'm going to tell you in short what they are calling for. If you have an AS9100 certificate, only accredited by ANAP, you just send in your certificate, send in your parts, and Boeing doesn't have to do any on-site audits. It appears from what that bulletin said that if you're a good supplier with an ANSI ANAB certificate, send in the parts. We don't have to come visit you anymore. And guys like that get bonuses for cost-cutting initiatives. Okay. In fact, in 2019, you'll more than likely find the article below. If you can't find it, please contact me at 203-556-1493 or Daryl, Daryl, TQRS at yahoo.com. And we will send you the article that said that Dennis Muhlenberg, during the whole doing Ethiopian Air and Indonesian Air, and my heart goes out to those people because their lawyers didn't look up this information. I am absolutely positive they don't have it. A bad thing, too, is the American Bar Association works hand in glove with ANSI. Don't let anybody kid you. So maybe the lawyers didn't really aggressively go after Boeing or ANSI ANAB, who I told you are underwriters. This is the actual article that designates the FAA made Boeing an FAA regulator. And Roberto, how does one regulator watch over a regulator? Should they have somebody watching over them? It appears that way. And I think I'm going to give our Congress an idea. They may put another organization in to watch over this mess. But this is what it says. The FAA increased the authority of Boeing's commercial airlines division to self-certify its own aircraft. So that means they could design it, build it, fly it, and that's it. Just like the MCAS system. They didn't have to tell the FAA about the MCAS system because they are the FAA. When you hear David Calhoun after the Alaska airline went down, they popped the cork. God forbid they go down. But when they popped the door, he said, "Our regulators looking into a robust system to do quality checks on it." Hold on a sec. He should have been doing that because he's an FAA administrator since 2009. Here it is. Since 2009, they were made a regulator. That means when David Calhoun was made the CEO, he is an administrator. Let's continue. You also have the factor that here they are. Here they are right here. Boeing. Boeing is on not only the board of directors that guides the company, but they're also on the ANAB Management System Accreditation Council, grants, suspends, and withdraws accreditation of certification bodies, which are registrars, like the ones I've showed you before. They can grant and suspend, and they sit on ANSI, right over by ANAB, the accreditation body they use. These are 7 registrars. There are other registrars that are accredited by ANAB and other accreditation bodies that are on the IAF. But the worst thing is that these, like Intertek is a registrar that certifies Spirit Aerospace Systems. That looked good, huh? Quality. Also on their supplier portal, you have this, that must be ANSI, ANAB, or international equivalent, Roberto. While they were, and they are, an FAA regulator, the NTSB, where is she? Where's Jennifer right over here? Jennifer Homendi. Daryl Jennifer asked for evidence and quality documents on the Alaska Air, and from what I've discovered, Boeing said no. Right, we have never heard one federal agency talk to another, so as Boeing is the FAA, they don't have to tell them shit. Oh, by the way, shit is a quality term. Or mierda, that would be better. Or dreck. Anyway, here you go. Boeing got caught fudging documentation when they were a regulator and are a regulator 2017 on top of that. And their Kobe Steel deal did. I think Kobe Steel might be UKAS accredited. I think. More than likely so. But anyway, at that time. But anyway, just most recently, the composite facility that they make the V22 off-spray composite material. Okay, and that's my background, composites, non-ferrous metals, aluminum, titanium alloys. They had a problem because they weren't recording, I guess, temperatures on the autoclaves. The paperwork was the same thing, like fudging documentation. For 11 years they did that, Roberto. How about your confidence in the quality of your 787 that has parts in it that Boeing may never have gone and looked at it at their suppliers? Also, you have the FAA sitting on ANSI right over by Boeing. You also have the factor Department of Transportation. They do it. And on top of that, and here's the progressive resistance, we heard Merrick Garland, his organization, the Department of Justice, is looking into this matter. You got to be freaking kidding me. Because you know what? The Department of Justice sits by the Department of Transportation, the Federal Aviation Administration, and Boeing. Do you think anything constructive is going to be done on that investigation? Not at all. My telephone number is 203. Here we go, Roberto. It's 203-556-1493 or Daryl, TQRS at yahoo.com. I look forward to hearing from you.